Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
Yo, 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 yo. What's going on, everybody? Back at it. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports
Big
Network.
D.
We are back to being squad deep up in here. My name is Neil Rule. That guy is D-Mac, Darren McCarty. That guy is Sam Flannel. We also got that guy, Spencer Raxter, here in the building as well. It's on and popping, everyone. Happy to have you all with us if you're jumping in on our YouTube channel. Hello. And feel free to jump on that chat thread that's going on live on the YouTube channel. I let you guys program the show sometimes. I'm not just sitting up here talking just to talk, man. I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. Not all the time, so calm it down, everybody. Okay, calm it down. Not all the time, but yeah, man, let's get in there. Social media handles on the screen as well. We're all over the place, as we said. YouTube, all the social media outlets, the radio on 93.5, The Roar, 99.1 FM and 94.7. HD2, Detroit Dabber 313. Big D, what up, though? What up, though, D-Mac? Big weekend for you.
He's got a Sammy Flannel streak going in there. I like to see it.
He's locked in.
Everybody's committed. Tammy Chin says the family's all back together. What a great way to be here on this Monday. Big week ahead. Obviously, the draft
yes,
coming up on Thursday. All excited. We'll talk about that all week. But what a great weekend. And good to be back. Good to be back together. I think that brings up a great point. Is that everybody's busy? You're down there. I did hear you on the TV broadcast, so you did get away with that. You weren't down on a golf trip, which some people were alleging. Are you sure Neil's not down there working on the golf game? But no. Great job with the MLS.
Thank you.
And that must have been a fun experience. And
it was.
Obviously, your boys at DCFC, man. Wow, they're rolling.
They are, man. I mean, it's very fitting too. They just keep doing it. They just keep performing, and they somehow, some way got a win. They were down 1-0. They came back. They scored a game winner in the 93rd minute. Detroit Dabber says, what a big-time win. You were great on the call, Neil. I appreciate that one. John Marks, DCFC, what a gutsy win. It was. I'm just saying, jump on board, man, because they're third in the Eastern Conference now. It's on.
You know
it's going.
You know what is interesting about this, and this transcends into all sports, but they play more comfortable, and they play defense. You know, the defensive style. It's going to be a 1-0 game, 2-1 game, stuff like this. But in a lot of these games this year, Neil, they've been down. They've been down 1-0. And they've been able to not only tie it, but come back and win. And I think it goes to the resilience of this team. But they got something special going down there. We've known that. And hats off to DCFC. Keep her going.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll be back at it this weekend. New York Red Bulls 2 will be in town. I'll be on the call. That'll be 4 o'clock as well. TV 20, ESPN Plus, all that jazz. David Mentier, Neil, is it pink or salmon? I would call this fuchsia.
That's fuchsia.
Fuchsia, yeah.
Yeah, I would call it fuchsia.
Solid fuchsia.
Yeah, I'm rock solid, too. There's not much room for debate, I feel as though.
No, that is 100% fuchsia.
100% fuchsia. Big weekend for you, too. You were big timing with some folks around. And
yeah, I had some things going on. You know, it was just so apropos. Everybody can remember this weekend where they were when Miguel Cabrera had 3,000 hits, and I just so happened to be standing beside a Hall of Famer and Calvin Johnson, Megatron, and up in Niles, Michigan. Thanks to everybody who came out to say hello with all the stuff that we're doing with the CBDs and then the plants and stuff like this. But can't speak enough about the man, him and Rob and stuff. So if you checked out Woodward Sports, I was able to get the congratulations from Calvin. So I was doing that, and also Astronomicon. Shout out to the Twisted folks and everybody. Got to catch up with my boy Kevin Nash and Sean Waldman.
Detroit's own.
X-Pac, absolutely. One of the greatest articles out there right now with the GWC, our friend Steve Moran, got the Godfather 420. It's a purple. It's sort of like the old Lakers colors, or the LA Kings old colors with the gold and the purple and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool because it's got the Godfather on the front, 420 on the back. But
The Jimmy Carson era.
It's got the pop, yes.
Yes.
The Jimmy it's got the Papa Shango on the shoulders, right? So everybody who went out there and checked that out, obviously, you know what I really noticed, right, is generationally, is that the Halloween franchise, right, the Michael Myers franchise, there was more adults and kids. I think I saw like 8 kids, 12 or under, dressed in Michael Myers gear. So what I'm saying is that this
it lives on.
It lives on
Yeah.
even more and more. And I even think that, you hear these rumblings that they're talking about doing a specific Halloween festival and stuff like this. And to me that's cool. To me that's cool, not only because I sort of have lived through that generation. I'm not a big Halloween movie franchise fan, but I appreciate it, and the people talk. So shout out to everybody at Burton Manor for making it happen. I know that Corey Taylor from Slipknot was in there and stuff like that. So everybody seemed to have it, and the vibe there was great. And it was something that I remember sitting there, and thanks for everybody that came out and said hello. Sit there going, you know what, I miss this. You sometimes you forget until it's gone and you get something back. But just the camaraderie and the vibe was great. So
Doughboy Steve on our YouTube chat thread says, added some snootiness to my life this morning and hired out the yard maintenance for the season. Wow, that must be nice, Doughboy Steve, because old Neil Rule is out there pushing the lawnmower around and every single weekend. All right.
Was that a small brag by Doughboy Steve?
Yeah, I think it was.
I think that was solid. That was just solid. That was like that was a little D-Mac in there,
key.
right? A little subtle undertone.
Must be nice, man.
Yeah.
But it was
nice.
and speaking of Spence, because Spence was keeping us updated with, he had a tough par 3 hole, but he said the old 6-hour round 8 cart back up on the first tee lets us know that the summer was here, but
I know,
or summer's coming. But I was saying to some of the girls in the coffee shop this morning is that, well, wasn't it like, oh, Michigan's back obviously this week and stuff like this, rain and cold. I said, but wasn't it nice to have those nice days on the weekend where everybody got to enjoy it?
Well, it was funny to me because I came back from Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, and it was warmer
Can you
here
do that
than
in your wing snob voice?
No.
I came back from.
Well,
Fort
you know.
Oh wait. How was your flight down and back? Anybody of notice?
No,
Can you tell the people just about Neil? Come on, you have to tell them.
The Cliff Notes version of the story. What do you think? Should I give them the story real quick?
Yeah.
All right, here's the deal.
Because you're working. This goes
I am. I'm
this
working.
is for Chad to let him know you're working deep for the show.
Well, absolutely, I'm working. So anyway, so I do the bounce back and forth to Fort Lauderdale, and look, we can talk about this. Detroit's a Spirit hub. Fort Lauderdale's a Spirit hub. So probably half the time I fly Spirit, the other half the time I fly Delta, whatever the prices match up for. That's the way it kind of dictates itself out. But anyway,
paying the tickets.
so as you guys know, I went twice to Fort Lauderdale this week, because it was, it was necessary. So when I flew back Thursday, the CEO of Spirit Airlines was on the plane. And when I flew back to Fort Lauderdale on Friday, the CEO was on the plane again. And I was sitting around in the airport, and I got there early, and I was at the Jimmy Buffett restaurant or bar or whatever that is at Metro.
Cheeseburgers in paradise?
Whatever it is, whatever it's called.
Cheeseburger in paradise.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a drink. I wasn't going to. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have a drink. So I had a drink, was sitting around the bar. Some cool people there. People were laughing and joking and stuff like that. So you end up having another drink.
Things.
Yeah,
things.
Power
Laughing and joking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, end up having another drink and stuff like that, and then get on the plane, the CEO's on there, and he's like, hey, come and, if you have some thoughts on Spirit, come and talk to me. So I did. I kind of talked to him a little bit. I shot him straight with what I thought. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, man, I appreciate that input. Let me get you a drink. So he sends over some Buffalo Trace, on the, thanks, man. I appreciate that. This isn't mineral water. There's no mineral water. No, but anyway, so he sends over a drink, cool guy and stuff like that, and ended up having a pretty good time, and it was a lot of fun, man. It was one of those things where you weren't planning on it, but you're sitting around some cool folks, and you just end up having fun, man, out of nowhere.
Hey, did anybody else get that maybe that you're being targeted by the CEO of Spirit and Delta? That I mean, he's shown big things are happening to our boy Neil Rule. Stay tuned, fam. Stay tuned. But he's taking us bigger and better places. So that's cool. Somebody said, I bet you the CEO had some food.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure. Well, now he sat like in a middle seat. Like he did everything old Neil Rule would have done if he were the CEO of the airline. You sit in the middle seat.
Did you give him the golf? Did you you gave him the I see you, bro. Nice, well played. So
it was well played. It was well played by him. Big play Jay. Neil only flew Spirit to ease his mind to be amongst the peasants. I knew this was what it was. MPWMU, Neil and the CEO were discussing their stock portfolios. We were. Retirement packages, all that kind of stuff.
Multiple furnace habits.
Just stuff that only we can relate to. We had a good conversation and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. The weekend was a lot of fun. Some big-time stuff. It was not a lot of fun, though. I had the 5:55 a.m. flight back on Sunday. That is grim.
Well, it's grim when you don't go to bed, when you're out and about.
Which I did, though. We did, and then after the match, I was going to go back and get some sleep. But
I'd planned on it. But, again,
we were feeling it a little bit. We went to one of the local breweries that were down by the TV studio with some of the guys from the crew. I do value that, too, like going out with all the people that are behind the scenes and stuff like that. Because I've always said this, D-Mac, and you and I have talked about this before. What I do for a living is kind of weird because you get all, like when the team wins, you were great. The call was great. What a great moment it was and stuff like that. But like the people behind the scenes are the ones that make everything go. I'm just talking into the camera saying what I see. I don't do anything groundbreaking. Right. So I like to get out and do like the victory laps with everybody, and we had a great broadcast.
Camaraderie is huge. It's just like around here, they turn the cameras on for us, but it's everybody behind the scenes. The same. Right here, people see what Sam and Spencer do, but it's everybody behind the scenes in the back making the engine run. And I think that every great team, every great corporation, we're very fortunate here because we are in the headquarters of Lady Jane's. And you watch the way that machine operates, right?
Right.
And how we're trying to sort of emulate that. And to me, what I like to hear about that, though, Neil, is that you met a real person, not somebody. So at least whatever complaints that people have, good, bad, right, wrong, in anything, is that, there's camaraderie to it. When I hear that the people behind the scenes, enjoy each other's company and do some things after, the product probably better.
That's I mean, there is no probably. That's the way it works.
Probably just like any team. Yeah. What are we always talking about? Culture, camaraderie. Well, there's culture at these networks, and I think that's a great thing. I think that last Monday got to be a part of one of the great cultures. I preach in here, and that's that Oakland University culture with the black and gold. You see that there. So I think that's important, and I think it's important we talk about it, especially because all you hear about these days, especially when it comes to airlines and stuff like this, is how disappointed people are and delay.
And that's what I told the CEO of the airline. I said, you know what? And it's funny, and I know we got to get to the break, is people complain, and I don't know what it is. And I always ask flight attendants this. I asked him this. I don't know what it is about people when they get out of plane that all of a sudden they feel they need to be an idiot all the time. I said, my problem's never with Spirit. Like, the seats are smaller. That's why your ticket's cheaper.
No, that's why. But I just like this.
My problem's never been with Spirit or the airline or the crew or anything like that. It's been with the people that fly Spirit, and that's what I told them. I said, it's not you. It's the people that fly the airline that are jackasses.
Now, here's the thing, and
why is that?
For everybody else to understand that, I guess, it was a snob on snob thing because he did buy you beer and have. So, I mean, it wasn't really coming off the pedestal of the CEO. It was hanging out with sort of another caliber CEO person in yourself, right? But but in all seriousness, I just like the realness of it, to say, hey, you had a conversation, and it's a real person. So, it doesn't change the size of the seats, but
no.
You understand the why.
No, 100%, and that's what it was. Let me tell you the why with Gypsy Vodka, because it's good vodka. There's no magical formula to it. And look, I know that you can talk about it being gluten-free, corn distilled 6 times. It is the smoothest, best-tasting vodka on the market. I understand all that. It's got a cool-looking bottle. I get that. Local ownership as well. I talked with the CEO of Gypsy Vodka, as a matter of fact, because those are the circles I run in, everybody. But that's how I know about good vodka, because I pour it in the glass, and it's good. Gypsy Vodka. Go to the store, ask for it by name, say, hey, where's that Gypsy Vodka at? It's Michigan's gluten-free vodka. Remember, when you're enjoying Gypsy Vodka, as always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today, or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year, but you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know the Foaling Warehouse is the original home of the football bowling pin game called Foaling. There's different ways you can play. You can do $10 open unlimited play, stay there all day, have a good time, or $120 lane reservation for up to 10 people. You already know about the $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer, no hassle, no fuss, just great beer. They also have fully loaded bars for you to choose from if you want to make your decision. So check it out in Hamtramck or online at foalingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foalingwarehouse.com.
Upright, relaxed stance, tucks the left shoulder in as he cocks the bat over the right. The 1-1 ground ball. Base hit into right! 3,000 for Miguel Cabrera! Raises his arms. Iglesias the first to hug him. The Tigers dugout empties as they charge over to first base and let the hug dispensing begin. Oh, what an incredible journey. From a skinny 15-year-old discovered on the dusty fields of Maracay to an icon in Motown. Miguel Cabrera, the pride of Venezuela, has joined one of the most exclusive clubs containing the best hitters in baseball history. 3,000 hits.
Of course, that was Dan Dickerson, credit to the Tigers Radio Network. 3,000 hits for Miguel Cabrera, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel Spencer, back with you. Happy to have you all with us on a Monday. But it all went down on Saturday. Miggy got it, got 3,000 hits. And as Dan Dickerson just absolutely drilled that call, I thought. We can discuss that a little bit later on.
I like start there.
Yeah.
Because I think it's iconic calls, and everything from, I remember my childhood, it took me sort of back listening to the Ernie Harwells from back in the day, but I mean that's an iconic call that I guess I asked you as a play-by-play guy, because you've told me in the past you have an idea what you want to say, but you're not locked in. I have to say this and how,
because the scenario
so
changes.
Explain to us from your play-by-play observation of that, how he took it, and break us down behind the scenes of what you saw there.
And this, we would have to ask Dan Dickerson this, but here's my suspicion.
Neil Rule's breakdown, because this is the difference is, right? We all, and I know that not for everybody listening on the radio, but for everybody who watches this and saw the video of Dan Dickerson, that's something that's different in the past too. You would only hear the call. You didn't have video of the guy calling it, so there's something even more too, but...
Yeah, I mean, for me, here's my suspicion, because that call changes at the moment changes. If that's a home run in the bottom of the ninth to win the game and it's a 3,000th hit, situation's different. The call's different. I think for this one, it was good because it was early in the game. It wasn't like a tipping point. It wasn't like a bases clearing double, bases loaded double that gave the Tigers a lead or anything. It was early in the game. The game was still, developing and things like that. It was a base hit the other way. It was kind of a ground ball that you could see, that you can anticipate. And I think that's what made that call great, too, was because of the nature of the hit. There was some suspense to it. Was it going to get through the hole? It did. And then Dan Dickerson, because of the time of the game when it happened, had that, that ability to go deeper into it. And what I thought that he did great, and again, this is just me talking. I didn't invent play-by-play or anything like that. I'm not perfect at it. I'm not the best in the world at it. It's just, for me, what he did so well was tied Miguel Cabrera's name into the call, that tied into how much gravity there was in the moment of among baseball's best of all time, how he tied Venezuela into the moment. Because Jose Iglesias was that meant the most to him outside of Miguel Cabrera on that field.
Well, you know what you saw there, right, was the gravity and what in such a poignant call is how much Dan Dickerson got into it. The thing that hit me was when he said the 15-year-old, right? And it's like, wow.
Because it comes full circle.
It puts in your mind is that he's been doing this a long time. Also, too, the fact that not only the closeness and the bond of teammates, but countrymen, and how important it was. Like you said, Jose Iglesias, we saw him play here for years and then be boys. And then you hear after Miggy saying they were talking, if you get it, and I'm nearest to you, I'm coming over and hugging you. That's what Iglesias said. And I think you bring up a big point, is we might not take as much stock into it as maybe the people or the kids or the players from Venezuela do. Maybe too, like me being Canadian and being a hockey player, there's, I don't know, more gravity of having Stanley Cups walking around the country of Canada, right? Not in Detroit, not in Michigan, but in certain parts of the States, they don't know hockey. Wouldn't know what a Stanley Cup is, right? In Canada, that's different. In Venezuela, I think it'd be interesting too, Spence, if we're looking around, see how it's reported in Venezuela. Like, is the next coming? What is the initial, and this is a conversation, what does it spark here? Where does Miguel Cabrera rank as, the greatest Tiger of all time or the greatest hitter? Well, these conversations have to be had, and when it's in the home country, I think the gravity of the 3,000 hits is so much bigger. Maybe not so much bigger, but it is bigger. And Jose Iglesias showed that to the point. And Dan Dickerson, in that call right there, capsulated everything in like a time capsule and put the button
put it
on
all
it.
together
You can watch that highlight for years and years and know exactly what happened. And you might not know who Miguel Cabrera is, but it's 200 years and go, oh man, this guy, wow, he was, big hitter, whatever it is. And I think that as a play-by-play guy, to say the most in as little words, that's what he did.
Yeah, and it's a huge moment, and everybody knows it's a huge moment. And that's the thing where some guys will be scared of that moment, and Dan Dickerson's a pro and delivered it all. Gave you all the information that was pertinent to the situation right there on command, didn't miss anything. And that's where it is. I mean, it's just, he's great, man. Dan Dickerson's great at what he does. He is. He's a very, very good play-by-play guy, and he drilled it. And that's all you can go by, right? It's like the big stage, the big-time moments. You're never going to get that. I mean, I don't think people realize that. Think about that, where you have this over your head where the biggest moment, and I would say from an individual accomplishment perspective, this is the biggest moment that we've seen as Tiger fans, right? I mean, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, his greatness, which we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes. That's a huge moment. It's a huge moment for Dan, for Miggy, for the franchise, for the fans. It's such, I don't think people understand how how much of a high wire act that is.
Well, I think when you bring out that he's only, the 1 in 3 people to do this or 1 in 4 to do this, and then he needs one more double. And, the stats are piling up as it's coming to the end of the career with the greatness. My question, right, so going back to Dan Dickerson, so Joe Girardi intentionally walks him, right, with the Yankees, and we all talked about that, right, wrong, baseball, whatever. So the next game's rained out. So as a play-by-play guy, when you're one hit away, and I think that the beauty was, and if I'm going to relate it back to myself, when I played junior, I had 49 goals. And going into the first game that I could get 50 goals, I scored on the first shift, right? Deflection high in the slot.
That had to be freeing.
So it was all of my grandparents were the stands, which was the greatest thing. But I got it out of the way. The fact Miguel Cabrera did it at his first at bat, even though they had to wait a rain out and wait a few days, does stuff like that weigh on you? Like, I guess I would ask you, before you called the first USFL goal, soccer goal for DCFC this year, how many times did you thought about it? Or thought about who would score it or something like that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the only similar kind of thing I have for that is when it was the first game I ever did for Oakland, when I was the voice of Oakland, was at North Carolina, and I was terrified, going on the air and stuff like that. I remember that when Travis Bader broke J.J. Redick's 3-point record for all-time 3-point makes. Like, you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen in this game. What are you going to say when it happens? And I didn't rehearse it or anything like that, because it happened off an inbound play and it was like a double screen. He wasn't the first option, so it did kind of catch me by surprise that he ended up with the ball. But I circled the wagons. It does, but I was thinking about it that week.
Right.
It almost gets to the point where you just want it to be over.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think that to everybody, too, in attendance, and the fact that the weather was nice, the fact that, people showed out, the fact that it was a blessing in disguise that he got walked, because now it was a beautiful day. The stadium was full. Listen.
Life works itself out.
I have what I think should be the way that it is, and then this guy up there, he has the way that it really is. He showed us that his way is a better way. But here's what's the big apparent thing to me, Neil, though, because this is such a big deal or monumental time around here, is how depleted in championships or in good teams or whatever, that this is what we've all been hanging our hat on for the last few years.
And you've seen this, we've
the
really locked on
the same thing.
The Rookie of the Year stuff with Cade, the 3,000 hits, the 500 home runs, all that stuff.
And that's just
we've locked onto it.
That's just because the lack of a bigger picture, in my opinion.
Right. There aren't many other options, I guess, other than Detroit City. What else you got? That's
it.
That's
City,
it. You know what I'm saying? Really, what else you have? Neil Rule here for the Sports Marketing Agency. They help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse disorder. Their new podcast entitled "This Is the F Word" is a series on fentanyl. It helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions and the other problems we see in our society. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, if you or someone you know is struggling with substance abuse disorder, go to thesportsma.com. The Sports Marketing Agency is here to help.
At Wingsnob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
What's up, y'all? D-Mac here for the draft party. Yes, Woodward Sports, Cintron, Gypsy, and Planet Fitness are all throwing the 2022 NFL draft party at the Brass Rail in Detroit. Yes, the corner of Woodward and Adams. This Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until the 32nd pick is chosen. We're going to be down there to celebrate our picks for the new Lions at number 2 and number 32. So join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for an NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam will be in full force. The Professor T. Foss, the real deal, Neil Rule, D-Mac Braylon, Ryan the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Matt Stick, Jeff, Matty, Joey, and so much more. So come join us at the Brass Rail on Thursday, 7 o'clock. We'll see you downtown for the draft party. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, Planet Fitness.
Off and running. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Shows flying by already. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sam Flannel. We got Spencer here in the house as well. Talking Miguel Cabrera, talking number 3,000. And this was something, and I saw various media people tweet about it, and I saw a lot of people on social media talking about it as well. And I actually got some flack when I, put out the tweet with Woodward's tweet about Miguel Cabrera. To me, is the greatest Tiger of all time, and I feel as though there's not much debate there. And we'll discuss, we'll get into it. And I know there's a lot of sentiment for Al Kaline. I understand that. Played 22 years. I get it. They won in '68. Ty Cobb certainly was great. For me, D-Mac, it's one of those things where that was such a different time, and I'll always go back to the fact that there were no black players, there were no Hispanic players at the time, and I'm not doing a social call or anything like that. I'm just stating that is a fact, and that is something that goes into my thought process when I think about people that played back then.
Even to that point, Neil, is that you look at how global the game is in 2022 or in the past 20 years, right? That we're talking, life's changed, the game's changed and stuff like this. And I think that there's, people are going to argue to whatever else, but I'm with you as far as Miguel Cabrera. And it also too is I'm big on the eyeball test. So I've had a lot of eyeball tests on Miguel Cabrera. Didn't have one on Al Kaline, didn't have one on Ty Cobb. My favorite Tigers of all time is Lance Parrish, but he's not the greatest Tiger of all time.
Right, which I was a big Lance Parrish guy, too.
I love, Alan Trammell, to me, is right up there as far as one of the greatest Tigers of all time, but no one compares to Miguel Cabrera and compares to where he stands in the record books. Now, here's the one thing about Miguel Cabrera, right, why he's not a slam dunk is because of things that he's done off the field that people don't maybe agree with, right? But again, like you say, I don't need him to raise my kids. I don't need him to do anything else as a Detroit Tiger and what he's produced.
Well, and you know what? And you know where I've even kind of evolved from that, D-Mac, where just as I get older and I look back at my life, and I know you do this, especially you, somebody that looks back at it and says, the person that I am today is not the person that I was back then, which is not the person that I was before that, which is not the person I will be in 10 years. Like and I've come to grips with that just as a person who have seen it happen, I'm not the same person today I was 10 years ago. So why is it realistic to expect everybody else to be?
Right.
I don't think it is. I'm a person where if I make a mistake, I'll be the first one to say, hey, I made the mistake, because where can you go from that? And look, it's an old Neil Rule move to garnish favor with everybody, but I take all the air out of the balloon.
Absolutely.
Because what do you say? What do you say to somebody that says, hey, man, I made a mistake? And that's why for Miggy's incidents and things like that, no, I don't hold that against him.
Well, here's the one thing too, right? In my opinion, I've seen that it's a different Miguel Cabrera also that we've seen as later than we have maybe when he's first got here or whatever else. We've seen some maturation, not only in the leadership department. Now, the frustrating thing and what is that he doesn't have the power that he's had. He's had, not even 40 home runs in the past 4 years. and getting paid that money, but that's not the question. The question is he the greatest Tiger of all time? And by far, he's one of the greatest hitters of all time. And in my opinion, that he's right there. Now, we can dial it down and have arguments about it, but really, is there many arguments, Neil? Is there really much of an argument?
Well, we got it up there right now on our YouTube chat poll, so feel free to jump in. Who's the greatest Tiger of all time? Miggy getting 58% of the vote. Ty Cobb getting 19%. Al Kaline with 17%. 6% say other. And David C. says, no, Neil, you don't get Al Kaline. And I was just a tad too young, so quit saying you get it when you don't. And neither do I. Well, I mean, I think to a degree, David, I do, in that you look at the career. And Al Kaline's career was very long with 22 years. I know what 1968 meant. You know, I talked to my parents. I know what the temperature of this city was in 1968. So, yeah, I get that. I get what it meant. You know, my question would be, do you understand it from that perspective too? So, for me, you can go back and kind of recreate it and things like that. Yeah, I didn't. It's just Al Kaline was never a dominant force the way that Miguel Cabrera was. Miguel Cabrera was dominant. Miguel Cabrera was feared for a long stretch of his feared. Well, and D-Mac, look, you had guys on the ice that you played that you guys feared. Mario Lemieux, the Jagers.
The guys that you had to be on guard. Joe Sakic.
You feared them.
States. Like fear them not because of bodily harm. Fear them because the puck would end up in the back of your net.
Right, and you are one of the very best in the world at what you do. And you, Darren McCarty, had fear. I know you did, man. When Lemieux was out there.
You know, the reality of having to be on your toes all the time against certain players because they were that good. To me, the Miguel Cabrera. Here's the question, Neil: is it because there's no World Series title here in Detroit, which gives people a hard time to say that? And because to me, if you're talking about individual, 3,000 hits, 500 home runs, and a triple crown in 2013? Is that what it was? But like, and so within the last 10 years, in this day and age, right? To me, that's something to be said with everybody else as the world game, so to speak. Right.
Yeah, and there's the other things too. Like when you start boiling it down, Al Kaline was never on. There are 3 people ever for 500 home runs, 3,000 hits, a career 300 average or better. Ever. There's Miguel, there's Hank Aaron, and there's Willie Mays. Like, listen to these names we're talking about, man. And we were talking before the show, Sam Flannel. People would say, well, Mike Trout. Remember when he was going back and forth with the MVPs with Mike Trout? Well, Mike Trout certainly going to be piling up numbers and things like that. And I knew this, but I didn't know it until Sam Flannel said it. It was crazy.
Oh, the seer of truth. What do you have?
For the record, Mike Trout is was the best player in baseball probably from 2012 to 2020. With that being said, he has less than 1,500 career hits. I almost fell on the floor when I saw that. He has 1,433.
How many at-bats? So here's the whole right. You know, in that time frame, it's so it goes to show you, it's a test of time. So how many more years does Trout have? Right, which is these are numbers which, I guess, the separation. So the more of the consistency, and you can't say to any one of us, right? If you think of a guy that you need a base hit, right, or moving the runner, somebody who can take it to right center. You know, even today with a lack of power, right? Miguel Cabrera, he's turned into Singlio. But oh well.
Singwell Cabrera now, yeah.
Right?
But whatever, it was always going to end this way. And here are some of the other things too. Like you bring up these stats of, the guys with the hits and where they are. Robinson Cano's not going to get there. He's retiring. Yadier Molina, he's 39. He's not going to rack up another 800 hits. Nelson Cruz, he doesn't get to. If he got to play the Tigers every day, then yes, he would get to 3,000 hits by the end of the season. But he doesn't. I mean, Elvis Andrus has almost 1,900 hits. That one floored me as well.
That's a little. But so he's 33. So
they say percentage-wise that it's going to be Jose Altuve that has the best shot at it. But the dude's 32 and he needs 1,200 and change. Like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to see these types of things.
impress you more of what Miguel Cabrera and
Absolutely.
Albert Pujols have done? Because if you notice above that is Albert Pujols. Now, Albert Pujols has 1,700 more plate appearances than Miguel Cabrera, right? And has only got 6 more hits. So that's a stat in itself.
And those are the little sidebars that when you start bringing those into play, you're like, damn, this guy was great. On our YouTube chat thread, Tony D, Verlander would be, if Verlander would have been the greatest. I don't know about all that. But anyway, One Funky Lions fans, the argument should be who is the 4th guy on the Tigers Mount Rushmore. You got 3 already. Hey, don't kill all the content, One Funky Lions fans. Like we gotta get through a summer here.
One Funky Lions fan?
I thought I did.
No, you did.
Oh, okay.
No, you technically did. I was just playing.
Jason Norman says, Miggy's been the guy at Comerica since I was a kid, and I'm only 23, so in my opinion, he's the GOAT. Tom Robinson, I think people are out here confusing favorite Tiger for best Tiger. And no, I think it's Miggy just from the standpoint of how dominant he was. Dominant, feared, the game's best of the best. And that's where it was for me. And he didn't get a World Series here. So I understand if that hurt some people's feelings as far as his time with the Tigers. But he won one in Florida, man. He was a central part of it as a 20-year-old kid.
But here's the one thing. Like I said, in my book of stats, 3,000 hits, 500 homers, and a Triple Crown. Walk off. But that's just me.
Yeah. Here's another one for you, too, and I haven't heard this one. He either won the MVP or finished in the top 5 7 times. 7 years.
He was trading places with Mike Trout. It was always 1 and 2,
Yeah.
one of them. And I think he probably did it before Mike Trout was even in the league when he had those years in like 2008, 9, 10. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So, and Robert Colosia says, Neil, why don't you use your fantasy analogy? And yeah, Miguel Cabrera was the number 1 pick in fantasy baseball for a long stretch. Long stretch. Remember when I did that thing with the whole Stafford analogy?
Yeah.
Where people tried to tell me he's one of the greatest of all time. I'm like, yeah, you never picked him. You never picked him in the first 8 rounds of your fantasy draft.
And Miguel Cabrera?
Number 1 all the time.
Or 2.
Or Trout, yeah. I mean, if it wasn't him, it was
2,
Trout.
Sam, fair enough.
Yeah.
1 or 2 for, like you said, for 10, 12 years to everybody who plays fantasy baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Does fantasy baseball have a keeper league?
Oh, yeah, I mean, depending on how you roll, yeah.
I just wonder, because you have that's the gold standard, right? You have Trout or you have Cabrera, and you get to hang on to him for years. Anyways.
Well, I have a very good buddy of mine that is a Cincinnati Reds fan. And listen to this joke. Him and 11 of his friends play in a National League only fantasy draft.
Jeez.
They play in a National League only.
I love it, eh? Listen to this. Listen to these clowns.
There's 12 of them, and they play in a National League only fantasy league.
Have they implemented the DH yet?
I don't know. I just told them. I'm like, bro, there's something wrong with you, man. If you do something like that, there's something wrong with you.
Well, you know what? I'll go cut them some slack, Neil. You know when I'll cut them some slack? No matter if you're only playing the National League only fantasy baseball. As long as you go to a Lady Jane's, because as you know, we broadcast this show live from the headquarters of Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Birmingham. Definitely awesome to get off the air and get myself looking great by one of their talented stylists. I highly recommend you get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men near you and let them treat you like a king too. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, relax, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Get to Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. Big D Energy, be right back.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Sticker Genius. Yes, you know it, the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports when it comes to stickers and signage. Sticker Genius. You too can get all the stickers you need. StickerGenius.com. Just like here, look at the beautiful studio. All stickered up in less than 24 hours. You can do it too. StickerGenius.com. Tell them Big D Energy sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We're going to talk NFL draft in the second hour of the show. Don't you get that twisted. We are coming down the home stretch. Thursday night, it all goes down for real. I can't wait. I'm pumped. I'm ready to roll. I know that you guys are as well. Make sure you come down to the brass rail on Thursday night. We will be broadcasting live from pick number 1 all the way through to the Lions pick again. I wonder if they're going to do the old New York Yankees thing and trade the pick right before 32. Ooh. That would be pretty funny if they did that to us, wouldn't it? I would laugh. I would laugh if that happened.
Listen for this.
NFL Draft Junkie. Miggy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest of all time. But is he the greatest Tiger? Were stadiums packed to see him play for years? Did he lead when it was needed? Stevie did. I would say, yeah, stadiums were packed.
100%.
3 million. There were 3 million people pumping through that stadium.
There was times through whatever that they were setting records of attendance year after year after year.
Yeah.
I was there.
Can confirm.
A lot of it was during my favorite section back in my drinking days, and it's changed now, but center field, right, against the
railing.
Had the
yeah.
bathroom, had the smoking section, and had the beer right behind you. And all my rail rats know what I'm talking about. So
and I'll even take that a step further. Before they commercialized the upper deck in right field, that was the spot, too.
That was a good spot, too.
Yeah, that was the spot.
Still to be had. Have you ever gone, at the side note of Comerica Park, has anybody ever gone to the highest of the upper deck and looked down like the bleachers at the top? You know the spot you look at and like there's 3 people up there during the game and whatever. Have you ever gone up there?
Yeah. Sat everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. If you don't like the wind. Like I like the old bleachers in Tiger Stadium. That was like comfortable even though it was chaotic. But up there is a little bit scary if you don't like heights. So.
Yes, it was. People are laughing about a National League only fantasy baseball league as well. Troy Fiegel says, Al Kaline's Mr. Tiger, 3,007 hits, over 1,500 RBIs with the Tigers. Miggy is amazing, but he's the second best behind Kaline. And see, I disagree with that, man. Kaline was never at the level that Miguel Cabrera was when he was here. And I value that more. Maybe you value the longevity. I don't. I value greatness.
But here's the thing.
I'm talking greatness. I'm talking greatness as in greatest in Major League Baseball. I'm talking about the best player in the game for an extended period of time. I don't care when the career gets stretched out over 22 years. I'm talking about feared. I'm talking about a guy that as a pitcher you don't want to see come up there. I'm talking about a guy that was in the top 5 of the MVP voting 7 times. He's the best Tiger of all time, guys. I'm sorry. Miguel Cabrera is the best Tiger of all time. He was generationally great.
How about both things can be true? Miguel Cabrera is the best Tiger, and Al Kaline's Mr. Tiger. That's how
I don't dispute that. Yeah,
I look at it like.
And here's the thing too. I value what Al Kaline did in the television booth. Goes back to the same thing about my old, as Tony Paul says, my old tired argument about how George Kell's number should be retired. Absolutely, because I value what they did on television, what George Kell and Al Kaline did together.
Narrated the game.
You were a product of that. So was I.
A younger fan, right? George Kell and Al Kaline, for sure.
That counts. That counts with Al Kaline. It does 100%.
And Al Kaline by far is Mr. Tiger. I would never call Miguel Cabrera that, but Miguel Cabrera is the greatest Tiger.
There you go.
That.
Tell the guys in the back about that one because I'm strong. I'm heated about that, man.
Hey, you know what? Tell the guys in the back that they can put that argument with my Larkin captaincy argument we'll put it in the Fight Club card for middle of the show. Anybody wants.
Yeah.
Bare knuckles.
Detroit Dabber 313, Miggy's battles against Mariano Rivera were must-watch television. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Best of the best at the
both
time.
sides.
And we know exactly what you're talking about because you can go back and watch the clips. And, you listen to the greatest of all time talk about facing Miguel Cabrera. And you're talking about fear. Go talk about some of the greatest closers of all time generation going up against him. Or pitchers, what they talk about. That's the true. And at the end of the day, honestly, Neil, and because it's tough to the pitchers of today that have faced Miguel Cabrera didn't face the Al Kalines, but go to the greatest pitchers that you respect and say, what's it like having Miguel Cabrera in his prime come up, or from this duration? Even to this day, they don't want to face him.
Yeah.
No.
And that's Max Scherzer said he's the greatest hitter on the planet. When Max Scherzer was with the Tigers, he said Miguel Cabrera, greatest hitter of all time. Jim Leyland, when Miguel Cabrera would do his 5 straight pitches, 5 home runs, 1 to left field, 1 to left center, 1 to center field, 1 to right center, 1 to right field.
I guess the batting practice exhibitions are just unbelievable back in the day.
Jim Leyland said he's never seen anybody do that before, and Cabrera would do it every day.
That's all I need. When Max Scherzer says he's the greatest hitter ever.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Who else's opinion are you going to go by?
Yeah, you're going to go by one of the best pitchers in the MLB, for sure.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, breaking it down, right? Why Max Scherzer to this point? Because when we think of Max Scherzer, I think fearless, right? I think a guy that he's not scared of anybody up there. He doesn't, he's demanding your respect when he's on that mound, that bulldog, that intensity and stuff like this. But he knows to himself, that just shows you greatness has to respect greatness when it's there. They don't respect if I can come and overpower you, or if I don't respect who you really are, that greatness respects greatness.
Game recognized game.
Game recognized game.
Patty Grimes says, Miggy is great, but did he bring a championship to Detroit? Well, then we got to shut it down about Justin Verlander, too, because to this day, Justin Verlander still never won a game in the World Series.
Oof.
That's not what I think. That's what I know.
Those are
but
facts.
I think that's to people's checklist or whatever, why they are in a spot where they won't look at it differently. This is how people keep score. And the fact that if you don't have the criteria of the championship here, then you can't be one of the greatest in their sport. That is their scoring system.
Sure.
I don't agree with it. You and I don't score that way, right? But we also take into other things, like you said, Al Kaline, what he gave in the booth. And, how did he, I was a young baseball player, didn't see Al Kaline growing up, but I know the love of the game and stuff like this. And you learned listening to his greatness explain the game, even as you're playing baseball as a young 7-10-year-old kid, that you don't realize, maybe more so till you bring it up right now going, man, yeah. That's where number one. If I tell you that my number one sport was baseball and 84 Tigers is everything, well, that plays right into it.
Big Daddy says, Al Kaline's considered one of the finest right fielders to ever play the game. Miguel Cabrera offers nothing defensively. That's why Al Kaline, all-around better player than Miguel Cabrera. No, my friend, I'm sorry. I know everybody speaks so fondly about when he would dig a ball out of the corner in the right field at Tiger Stadium and throw a guy out at second maybe twice a year. I understand that's a big deal. But Al Kaline was never even on the same planet at the plate that Miguel Cabrera was. Not in the same solar system, not on the same planet, not on the same galaxy, man. So I don't think that, am I doing a poor job of explaining this, guys? Do you understand the company he's in as far as the hit totals go? Honest to God, guys, I don't think, we're sitting here, we're talking about it. People have thoughts about it. I don't think they realize what... This guy is in a different stratosphere.
Doesn't the gravity of where second place, put the number back up about where everybody else is with age, time, and where the hits are at, right? So here's the guys that are playing right now, and I can't see it, but just going by memory, right? Where guys are, the guys more at the top of the list are in their late 30s. Right, mid to late 30s, right? But nobody else. Where was Miguel Cabrera when he was 32? How many hits did he have? I guarantee you he hasn't had a whole bunch of hits in the last 10 years or last 5 years as opposed to before that. What I'm saying here is the disparity between everybody else, which really pulls, right? What does it do, Neil? It pulls Albert Pujols and Miguel so that you notice this chart. And then look at it deeper. and see that Pujols is 6 hits ahead of Miguel Cabrera with over 1,700 more hits, right? Does that not... If Miguel Cabrera had 1,700 more at-bats, how many more hits? At 300, roughly doing math, is 600 more hits, right? A little less than that, say 500 more. So he's at 3,500. Is that impressed people more? I don't think so, because I think it's what have you done for me lately, Neil? It always is, and people can't get out, well, he can't hit it out of the park anymore, and it's not this, and he's not...
This is different than that.
I know that you and I are having a different conversation, but a lot of times when people say different things, it's about that, it's what have you done for me lately? Right?
Tom Robinson says, thank you, Neil. Cabrera is one of the greatest of all time, period. You met, and guys, I want you to think about this statement. You match him up against guys like Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Hank Aaron.
Those are the names that
those are the names, reaching. Guys.
Like these are guys that I don't know, but it's the impeccable reach. When you're a kid, you're not going to tell right? Is it when we were kids, right? Growing up, if you got in the stratosphere of the conversation, if in hockey, if you were in the conversation of a Wayne Gretzky, a Gordie Howe, a Mario Lemieux on that aspect, a Bobby Orr, right? You know, a different guys like this. That's a whole different level. This is what we're talking about. Him setting the precedence of people being compared to him, right? He is that guy. Right? When you say Hank Aaron, you say Babe Ruth. You say Hank Aaron. You say Miguel Cabrera. These are the generational players, hitters, and stuff like this. Which goes into the argument of greatest of all time.
To ever play. The greatest right-handed hitter possibly ever. What do you got, Sam Flannel?
I just have to go back to that argument that one person in the chat made about Al Kaline won a World Series with the Tigers and Miguel Cabrera did not. I did a little bit of digging. I know, things get turned into narrative. During the 1968 season, Al Kaline missed 60 games, hit 10 home runs, 52 RBIs, 287 average. That's pretty good, but he missed 60 games. The World Series MVP was Mickey Lolich. That was a stacked Tigers team.
Hey, you know what, Sam Flannel? And this won't be popular, but I value Mickey Lolich more than Justin Verlander.
Oh, well,
you
that's because he won 3. Well, why would you not? Because he won, and he won 3 playoff games and beat Bob Gibson.
He beat Bob Gibson, dude. You're talking about dudes that are feared.
Right? Could you imagine a guy 3 complete games wins in a World Series like today and age? Like the only thing
beats Garrett Cole 3 times or whoever.
Well, yeah, Bumgarner or whoever else tried to do that. But no, that performance and that to win is still the greatest.
And I think it was Robert Closey. I'm not sure, but mentioned the fact they said Ty Cobb led the league in batting 12 times. Miggy did it 4 with off the charts power numbers. Like, guys,
against the world.
Come on, man.
Against the world.
So yeah, I just wanted I wanted him to get his flowers because I do think that he's one of the best. Red Green Show says you're explaining it so clear and you're not wrong. I hope so. So, that's where it was with me. It was a great, it was a great discussion to have. Certainly, I believe that it was a great discussion to have. Like when I get the opportunity to tell you about Syntron. It's the summer of Syntron, everyone. And now Syntron available at your local Kroger stores. Make sure you get some while you're out shopping. They got a deal going on right now. Pick up 2 of them. Give them a try, guys. Get 2 Syntrons for just $4. Syntron, the new energy drink for the active lifestyle. You see them all over the city of Detroit. Official energy drink of the Red Wings of Detroit City FC. Proud partners with the Pistons. Drink it. Live it with Syntron.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft Day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL Draft Party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Neil Rule here for Wing Snob. They got fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob, the best traditional wings in the game. They got the great signature sauces, the Jamaican jerk, the lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you choose. Guys, here's the bottom line. When the wings are this good, you're allowed to be a snob. I've been told it takes a snob to know a snob. Here I am saying it to you. Order online. It's lunchtime. Wingsnob.com. Wing Snob. We just have better wings. I don't know what else you want. Pulling up on the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter here in the building. Happy to have the band back together. We got it cooking in here. Appreciate all you guys interacting with the show. And Pistons fan 11, lazy argument to say, oh, Miggy didn't win us a ring. That makes him less of a player, team sport. And baseball's probably even more so than any of the other ones. I would make that argument. And, yeah, I mean, it's just like it's not Miggy's fault Justin Verlander couldn't win a game in the World Series. I know that it hurts your heart when I say that. I know it does.
I love Verlander, but, I mean, I can't deny it.
I love him, too.
It's true.
But do you love him or the truth more?
The truth. I'm a big truth guy.
Yeah, that's it. Did want to talk about this as well. Hunter Dickinson announced that he's coming back to Michigan for his junior year, right, Sam Flannel?
Oh, I am ecstatic about that. Why wouldn't I be? He's one of the best college big men in the country, and he could average 20 and 10, get another year of refinement under the coaching, and hey, he should win the Big Ten Player of the Year, and Michigan should be competing for the Big Ten title. Okay, lay it down. He's putting it down in stone right there.
What is it you're looking that he has to learn? Obviously, if you're excited for him,
he needs to defend, bro.
He needs to defend.
Look at the metric and look. I know I'm a hater, but I go by these little things like metrics.
You're a hater of Huntington or Michigan?
I've been told it's all of the things. All I do is point out.
You hated Hunter Dickinson too.
I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't. He's fine. For what Sam Flannel says, he's fine. He is a liability defensively. Don't believe me? Look at the metrics.
Of course he is, and obviously he's going to get abused on the pick and roll, even though they don't run that in college quite as much. It's more of an NBA offense, but he needs to get a little bit tougher down low, maybe average more rebounds, maybe get a little bit more of a face-up game, three-pointer, become more of a playmaker. But we'll see. I think he can do it. He's an elite post scorer, and he's 7-1 in college in the Big Ten. A lot of Big Ten schools just don't have someone who can put a body on him and really defend him. You just don't. A 7-1 in college, especially in the Big Ten with a lot of bad teams, it's going to win you some games. It's going to win you 8 games on its own.
Yeah, and look, it's one of those things, too, and this is just the way the NBA world works. Trust me on this one, guys. Trust me on this one, Sam Flannel. When you get to be a junior,
stock falls.
Why aren't you in the NBA yet? Like, that's just the way that it works out. And look, credit to him. I'm sure he assessed the situation. He's probably in a spot where he can make more money through name, image, and likeness right, for real. I mean, that's what it is. It's probably a better business decision to go to school.
Yeah.
Just in terms of dollar for dollar, because, obviously to make that $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 a year, you got to catch on to a roster.
For sure. Yeah, he's got G League all over him. That's what it screams to me. I could definitely see him going overseas, being successful, because over there they play more of a team game. They don't solo people out one-on-one islands, so he doesn't have to worry about his defense. But like we talked about yesterday, you said he's Luka Garza. He's Luka Garza without a great jump shot. We saw he knocked down a couple last year, which I was surprised at, and if he can work on that.
Yeah, but Garza can snipe.
Garza's a sniper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dickinson is not a sniper, and he's not going to make him NBA.
Yeah, so I mean that's what it is. So he's coming back. I know that excites Sam Flannel. He's pumped. So is that the floor then? Big Ten championship.
I don't know about the Big Ten championship, but the floor for Hunter Dickinson is Big Ten Player of the Year. I will be very disappointed if he doesn't get that. I mean, Johnny Davis left. Keegan Murray left. Jaden Ivey. All those great players left. This is Hunter Dickinson's time, and if he doesn't win it, it'll be a disappointment.
That's fair.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
I like it, Sam Flannel. I like when Sam Flannel jumps in.
I appreciate that very much. And I'm objective. I'm not just a slappy. And I was harder on Hunter Dickinson than anybody after that Villanova game, after he got abused, after he was 6 for 16 against a team whose tallest player was 6'8". Those are the type of things that probably exposed him and influenced his decision to come back.
Yeah. Dave Schultz. But U of M doesn't do big name, image, and likeness. No, but Hunter Dickinson can. That's independent of Michigan. The problem with Michigan is they won't let him use the Block M, and that would help them out just in terms of the amount of money, the bag that they would be able to procure, as it would be, D-Mac.
No, that's it. What I like is the self-awareness and obviously the growth, and too many times, and especially in basketball with the one-and-dones in college and stuff like this. So I think with Juwan Howard and what they have coaching-wise, he's only going to improve. He's a good player. I think that what Sam said is, as him coming back, his expectations are probably to win Big Ten Player of the Year. That's why he's coming back. So, right?
I will say this.
The first thing, and you guys nailed it, right? If we see that, we notice that, he's been working on his defensive side, right? The side that he's weaker on, than just putting buckets in and doing this. I think along with the defensiveness, ball control, ball handling. He turns the ball over way too much for a big man. You know what I'm saying? To me anyways, that's how I feel. So I think that in today's day and age, with guys so eager to get to the next level, and I can't blame them for going for the money and stuff like this, when you know that it'll benefit you in the long run. And I think
I don't know that it does, though, D-Mac. I don't know that it does.
You don't think it benefits him for not going out?
No, because, again, once you get to be a junior, then why aren't you in the league already?
No, I get it, but here's the thing, Neil, right? Because everything is cyclical. So now it's starting to cycle back around to, hey, everybody's one and done and whatever like this, and it's not. So everybody now is going to be looking for who's putting in the extra effort and who's staying there to develop a little bit more. I think in this case, if you go out and you ball out, so to speak, and do these things that, to your point, I know what you're saying, but I think this could put Hunter Dickinson in a different situation. And there's specific guys only to be in that situation, right? Not the late bloomers, but I think with the polish. Because don't you think of Hunter Dickinson going to the NBA, right? Working to try to be a bigger guy is almost like what the Pistons are trying to do on a Luka Garza front with playing in the G League, coming up, trying to get him the reps there. I'd rather see him be the man, the confidence and stuff like this. And this year, it's a big year for him. So in this situation, I think that it's, to your point, I think it depends on who the player is and where they're going back to and what they're doing. So now there's an explanation. Hunter Dickinson is going to get better coaching at Michigan, and he's going to go to win Player of the Year and stuff like this. This is a better place for him.
Robert Closey says, big money to go in the top 10 of the draft. If you come out too early and drop to the second round, that's a big dollar drop off. And I think, here's my angle on that, and Robert, you could certainly probably speak to this as well. When Dickinson comes out and says he's coming back, that locks him into being pretty much a second round pick, a la Garza. Yeah. Because what you're just saying, you're saying about Garza, he's like a poor man's Garza without the jump shot. Well, where did Garza get drafted?
Well, I think Hunter Dickinson's a little bit bigger, and I think he has a better post game. But is that valued in the NBA as much? Not really. But I could see Hunter Dickinson, if he comes back with improvements, has an improved shot, improved defense, I could see him sneaking into the very end of the first round.
The defense is the thing, because and we saw it in the tournament. Where teams did go pick and roll.
They were hunting Hunter Dickinson.
They were hunting him. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the thing. Does he not, to me, what I'm looking for is more more of a base from him. Like the build, he's a big guy, but he is sort of a tree, right? So you can move a big guy like him around. He needs to get more base.
Well, the problem for him, D-Mac, is it's away from the basket.
Jay Crowder, Deontay, like more beef down low. Am I wrong to say that like when they attack him and stuff, he gets smaller?
Well, no, the problem is they drag him away from the basket. And this is why where the NBA has changed, where people say, well, they don't play defense or they don't do this anymore. The NBA now has gone to that style where everybody on the floor can make a jump shot. So even if you're a big that can make a shot, if Dickinson's he has to come out with them. And when he comes out, then that's when the Chris Pauls of the world, that's when they line up that pick and roll and they attack him. So, it's such a matchup driven thing. So that's the thing. He is the only thing that matters, and everyone's going to fall in love when they do the Sam Flannel thing when he has 22 and 12, and they're going to fall in love with it, and they're going to say he's great, and the Pistons should take him with the number 7 pick and stuff like that. Here's the deal, that is independent of anything that's the knock on him. Independent. What can he do away from the basket? Because that's the island, and that's the island you'll get killed on in the NBA.
I mean, you saw it yesterday, unfortunately. I love Jokic, but he got killed by Curry late in the game. But Nikola Jokic shouldn't be expected to guard Steph Curry one-on-one, but they hunted him, they got him isolated, and then Curry pretty much cooked him.
But in other, you see it, how Steven Adams in that series can't even be on the floor when Karl Anthony Towns is on the floor.
Bingo.
Because Karl Anthony Towns drags him away from the basket, and Steven Adams is too slow, he's too big to go back and to guard. And they bring him out there, and they abuse him. And Steven Adams is out of the rotation, who was their starting center all year. He is out of their rotation because he can't guard Karl Anthony Towns. And that's going to be the same kind of thing that Hunter Dickinson would be. Although Steven Adams is bigger and stronger than Hunter Dickinson is, that's how they're going to abuse him. They're going to take advantage of him in that way. When you get these athletic bigs who can shoot and bring him out there, he can't hang. It'll just be bad.
It'll be bad. But something that was good, which we're going to touch on when we come back, related to the Red Wings, certainly. Well, I mean, they got to win. That was good.
Well, we're talking about big guys and different things like that, but
defenders. We're talking about defenders.
Hunter Dickinson could turn into, on the defensive end,
kind of a
guardian alarm. Oh my gosh, look out. We're talking top 10.
Number 1
Show
overall.
Me the money, guardian alarm. You hear it every day. Keeps you safe and gives you peace of mind, whether you're at home or on the road. 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you is safe. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
One more time. 1-800.
Stay out. Get
for all
out
the
of
peace
my
of mind
house.
that you can have right now. Stay away from the flannels. We're rocking it out. It's almost the summertime. After this week, we'll get it. So you, me, guardian alarm. Hunter Dickinson, guardian alarm. Who knows? Whatever you do, let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac. We got Spencer, we got Sam Flannel here in the house as well. The YouTube chat thread, somehow, every now and then the politic thing will pop up. I don't do that, and I'll never go into that because I don't care, number one. But number two, I just won't do it. And Tony Fiegel says, let's hear Neil hate on Michigan and less politics, LOL. Hate on Michigan more and in here less politics. I don't. And it's funny, too. Like Chef Chris Smith right above it says Hunter Dickinson's undraftable. And I could see that argument For real, I could. I mean, would you rather take the roll of the dice with the guy over in Spain that you can draft and stash?
Do you want the oatmeal?
Do you want it? Yeah, that's it. Somebody who definitely is not cream of wheat that the Red Wings have signed an entry level to. D-Max guy, Simon Edvinsson, has inked with the Red Wings. And I'll say this.
Wait, hold on. Do I got a text in the back and make sure it's okay with Easy?
Well, here's the thing. Like this, D-Mac turned me onto him, but Easy was the guy because Easy's a big Swedish elite. And I appreciate Easy filling in for the time that I was gone.
Well, at least
you guys don't know this about him. Big Swedish elite league viewer. Scott has a rolling scouting report of everything that's going on. Was big on the guy. Before the draft, was pounding the table.
He said he saw him back in some tournament when he was 11 years old. He was only 6'1", but he knew.
He demanded that the Red Wings draft him the moment he was eligible. And he has a direct line, I'm told, to Steve Yzerman to keep him in the loop.
Both.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly, on the Rolodex. So.
Yeah, so he kept him in the loop, and then, Stevie Y did what Easy said. But you're huge on this guy, D-Mac, and you say he's next.
Oh, no, he's when I first brought him, and here's the one thing, right, is because I am not up on the Swedish Elite League as much as Easy is and stuff like this, but what I am up on is conversation with people within the organizations that has watched and drafted a lot of these kids. And it's just the development of this Edvinsson, the size of him, the want, the great thing about a guy like this, not only is his size, but his skating ability.
Ooh, look at that! Look at that reach.
You're going to hear a lot of the same things that we see and say about Mo Seider and Simon Edvinsson, except he's left-handed.
D-Mac, that reach, that's
a
Adam
D-man too.
That's Adam Creighton
D-man
stuff.
Making those moves, bro. So here's the whole big thing is the future is bright. Right, the fact that the entry level was taken care of, which was the next step. So obviously, Easy signed off on that too. But he's going to have every opportunity. And what? And I preach this all the time. The Swedish Elite League is now, to me, on par with the AHL as far as development, even if not more. Because why? The NHL game is turning into more of the hybrid European game. Just without...
Like what we were talking about with basketball over the last break.
Without the ice surface, exactly, and stuff like this. But you need guys so the new sizes, speed, you need guys can skate. But what if all your monsters on the back end that aren't supposed to move and all your tough guys or whatever are now these 6'7", 6'8" defense guys, which you have two now? It's just the potential of what's, now he's not going to come in and be Bobby Orr or Nick Lidstrom or anything like that.
But he's not. I was told he was by Easy. I was told.
By who?
I'm kidding. By Easy.
Oh, by Easy that he would? No, but he's going to come in here and I see a lot of Mo Seider in him, except the opposite side. So it's having the yin and yang. And that's only the one guy. You're going to start hearing of more guys. We brought up the Swedish connection of different guys in the seasons that they'd had a few weeks ago. So as we get closer, to the draft, and then it goes to you, Neil, where I look to you and I go, hey, where are we at with the Red Wings draft capital and their toy chest of salary cap? Do they have the ability to play around, do some stuff?
They do, thankfully.
So here's the beauty. The beauty is that if what we've seen this year, right, with Raymond and Seider, and you can get one or two guys in the next year or 2 years, also too, am I right to say, is there money in that war chest that if Steve Yzerman wanted to, he could not only go out there and pluck an elite top-level player, and when I say that, I mean somebody who would be up against the salary cap, paying the max salary too, right?
If he so desired, yes.
If he so desires, could he actually go out and get a couple so desired top-end pieces to finish it off?
Theoretically, he could get three. He could get
he could get three, right? So, in saying that, this is where I'd like to take this, or is that patience, guys? Right? It was tough the second half of the year because of the, I guess, because of what we saw. We thought we were further along at the beginning. But in saying to Neil, let me ask you this. In saying with the way that the season ended, the goals against, the second half of the year, the disappointment, stuff like this, going into the offseason with the war chest that you have, the signing of an Edvinsson, the other guys that are coming over going to get this opportunity. You see another guy, Jonathan Berggren, who just set in Grand Rapids, the rookie point for the season. He had his 59th and 60th point last night. What I'm saying is there's things in the hopper that are going to be able to be earned. And don't get it twisted, guys, right? When we start breaking this down and looking at free agents, not only this year, but who's free agents in the next year or the year after, you're in good shape. You're in really, really, really good shape. And back to Simon Edvinsson, right? If this team is going to move forward, right, to be a championship team, he's going to be a big part of it. Because he's going to hit. Does that make sense? I see as much in him as I do in Mo Seider. I think Mo Seider might have a little bit more offensive upside, but Edvinsson, if this makes more sense, might have a little bit more mean. How's that possible when you got Seider reverse checking guys and being fearless of everybody? It's a good sign.
And I'm glad we're having this discussion, D-Mac, because both publicly here on the show, privately discussions that we've had together where a lot of wind was taken out of my sails with what happened over the last 2 months, 3 months, what went on lately. The Penguins debacles and the Coyotes debacles, and a lot of wind was taken out of my sail just because it didn't seem like it was personal. Now, I want the season to be over because there's nothing left. It is what it is. I just want it to be over. And I found, but here's where there's hope, D-Mac, for me personally, because as we talked about, being down in Florida for work, a lot of the guys that work in sports media are crossovers. Well, they're working soccer, they're working hockey. Down there in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, it's the same way. A lot of the guys, they work for USL and ESPN, and they work for the Panthers, and they work for the Dolphins, and they do all that stuff. And one of my producers for the game Saturday is an in-arena producer for the Florida Panthers for the arena feed and stuff like that. And so we got to rapping about hockey.
And then I hope this person, male or female,
male, yep.
I hope he likes his spot right now.
Oh,
with
yeah.
With the Panthers, because here's the whole thing, too, like behind the scenes, is when you have to be there and you're just as much a part of the team. We mentioned that at the beginning of the show about going out with the crew and stuff like this, but it's something to have a team that you have a chance to win.
Right, absolutely. And we were talking about it, and we got to talk about the Red Wings, too, and he said, man, I see what he's doing there, and in 3 years, the Red Wings are going to be a problem. Like he said, a big-time problem. And I started digging a little bit more about it until I was talking about the cap situation. Like, there's that much cap space next year, $35 million in cap space. Verana's still on the books for 2 more years after this year at $5 million.
So here's the one thing I think that after the season, we're going to see how it plays out, obviously. I think that we'll hear something sooner than later about the coaching staff and stuff, but it's break that down to, as the draft capital guy, to realize where you're really at, right? There's some decisions to make, right? You got a Bertuzzi decision to make moving forward, but you're talking about, and $35 million in the salary cap in hockey is like how much in football? $100 million, right? Like, honestly, like that $35 million in hockey.
Yeah.
Again, it's like having $100 million free agent in football, right?
Yeah, well,
would that be a fair equivalent?
Yeah, well, the cap's about $80 million.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is that, oh my gosh, you're out there, and then we haven't even talked about how many draft picks and how many, because we don't know, because he's making deals that he's picking up draft picks here, there, and everywhere. What I'm saying, and I noticed this in the will Edvinsson start in GR. Or no, it's the same sort of, I expect him at least to have the same impact.
Timeline?
Thank you.
Yeah.
The same timeline as Seider. or Raymond. He's got to come over here and earn it, but there's nothing that tells me that he's not ready to go. Right? Like it's
like that.
Watching a lot of these guys in Frölunda in the playoffs and their development and watching them over the years that they're getting like the development is they're ready. It's almost that they're bigger and they don't need that seasoning. That's why I say that the Swedish League is just right on par with the AHL right now.
He would be the second best D-man on our roster right now, behind Seider. If they played him for the Red Wings on Monday or whenever their next game is, he would be the second best defenseman we have.
Oh, well, listen, bar none.
That kind of puts stuff into perspective.
Yeah. We have one defenseman.
Yes.
I'm moving forward with off of this year, which is sad because I thought I had 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Right, but there's question marks,
and we'll do that. We'll do the recap when we finally
when they're finally
when we
done,
finally put the season down,
Yeah.
because that's how it feels right now.
Two more games. We got 2 more games left.
Like it feels like we just need to put this season down and move on.
Yeah.
Like take it behind back.
The old Yeller, Lenny, look at the Rabbits.
Yes, Mike G. Blash can go back and coach the 2010 CompuWare team.
Evelyn, take the kids to the neighbors. We got to go ahead and put this season down.
Oh, for sure.
Big Boy Signature Buffet is back. Treat yourself this and every weekend, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at your local Big Boy. All your favorites, 2 kinds of eggs, the bacon, the sausage, Polish sausage, garlic mushrooms, grits, red skin potatoes, waffles, hotcakes, French toast, fruit, and more. The Big Boy, it's a dining staple. Great to hear that it is back at Big Boy. Go on in there. Weekends, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at your local Big Boy. They are a Detroit institution. Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports. We all know Cade should have been Rookie of the Year. But you know the saying, Detroit versus everybody.
Uh-oh, Cunningham all by himself.
Woodward Sports.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer here in the house. Where are we at? Day number 46?
46.
46 days in a row, 365 consecutive days up. We do need the tracker, I think. I think that with Sam Flannel going this far, I think it's worthy of a tracker. Can we agree?
At 50. At 50 is
at 50? You think that's a number?
Yeah, we can do what are we at, Sam?
46.
Woohoo! Yes, I think next week we start the clock.
Something that we just did is kind of a passing joke.
Can we get the clock in a flannel? Like,
I'll get
as it turns flannel, different flannels.
And what's unique about this streak, like weekends don't count. Days at Woodward don't count. Days that you're not at Woodward, they don't count. Like, it's legit. It's legit. It just speaks of Sam's passion for flannel.
I mean, it's my favorite kind of shirt. My Instagram handle before I even came here was Flannel Sam. So I've just kind of leaned into it, steered into the skid, as they say.
There you go.
Akeem the Dream, Miggy the GOAT Tiger without a championship? Well, he won one with the Marlins. So we got to as a 19 into a 20-year-old, by the way. So go back and look. That's a great reason to subscribe to the podcast page, Big D Energy Podcast, everywhere you get your podcast, iTunes, etc., where you can go back and listen to it if you did miss it. It got heated. It was a spirited discussion. There's no doubt. I know we put stuff out on Twitter, too. You can get caught up with that really, really quickly. I did get this alert on my phone from The Athletic. Trayvon Walker is now the minus 175 betting favorite to go first overall to the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's not Mel Kiper.
Okay, so excuse me. So the team that panicked in the draft that I always talk about, there's one team that's going to panic, is the team with the first overall pick, and you're going to go Trayvon Walker. Are you kidding me?
I'm just telling you guys. That's what it says.
On brand for Jacksonville, wouldn't it be? So the question is, all right, what I like about Jacksonville picking him is so that I know that we won't pick him. But if that's the choice, Neil, then boom, Lions at 2. You're Brad Holmes with the second pick of the 2002 draft. The Detroit Lions select.
It'll probably be Aiden Hutchinson then, right? He seems to be the betting favorite now too.
Now, is that your speculative pick of what the Lions will do, or what you would want them to do?
No, because I'm a ceiling guy. I want the ceiling.
So you
the
want
high ceiling.
Malik
So
Willis.
I would Willis, Thibodeau. That's where, and that guys I haven't changed.
Now, here where I was asked. Now, I mentioned, I'm going to let you a little bit inside behind the scenes. I was with Rob Sims and Calvin Johnson. So I thought, got a Hall of Famer there. Might as well ask the offensive lineman, Rob Sims, about facing guys on the defensive end or whatever. And you know what he said when I brought up the name Jordan Davis? Right? Not since a guy named Haloti Ngata. That the speed of what it is that Rob Sims says to me, and Rob Sims, which is such a serviceable offensive lineman, that we talked about the fear factor, or are you scared or whatever like this. But when you know a guy's like has that speed and that power and knows his job at eating stuff up, you have to game plan against him. We had this conversation where I asked Rob, I said, would it be with, what did you think about what they've done with the offensive line? And obviously linemen love both sides of the ball. But as far as like pure talent in the draft, former pros, as far as Jordan Davis, I asked him, I said, would that, to solidify, how much would that solidify your defensive line and have your offensive line, right, which is producing some running backs and yardage that we've seen, and defensive line that you had to pit? He understood what I said, but in all seriousness, if Trayvon Walker goes, I would expect the Lions to take Hutchinson.
I'm sure they probably will too.
But it's interesting to hear to really say, like, yeah, guys like that, they scare us, right? The way that the speed.
Well, you got to account for them.
The speed of, and you're accounting for not only just the power, and this is what Rob said. So I got to worry usually about the defensive tackles or stuff like in the middle, right? What they're trying to do is just eat you up, right? They'll not let you go anywhere. So you don't have to worry about them being as mobile, side to side, what they're going to penetrate. When you have a guy that can run and can stunt as a defensive tackle and move like this, it makes game planning totally different. So just food for thought, because in the back of my mind, that's, I would not be against picking Jordan Davis, but that's me personally.
Yeah, absolutely. YT Sparty, Hutch and Trayvon are Vegas favorites for the Lions. And yeah, I'm just updating. I got an alert on my phone from The Athletic that said Trayvon Walker is now minus 175 to be the first overall pick by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Can I address this? All right, Troy, Figgle, and everybody else. Neil has never said he wanted Willis. He has always said be prepared that if the Lions are enamored with Willis, that he would go there. He's always said that he thinks it's Hutchinson or Thibodeau.
Right.
You said be prepared.
It just went back. If he's in play at 6, then he's in play at 2. Like, it's just common sense. Like the way how dismissive everybody was of it.
The biggest thing is Scott Bischoff, our NFL guy, sits in here and goes, "This guy could be and where you're at because of the ceiling, right?" That's the question too. Is Brad Holmes a ceiling guy or a floor guy, or in the middle, or what is it looking? And it's about trusting the plan. So again, what I find exciting and interesting, even is at the beginning. This is the draft week. There's only a few more days. Obviously, Trayvon Walker's going first because it just adds to the hype and the excitement.
It does. Klompsaw says, thank you, Neil. Again, it just goes back. I'm a ceiling guy. And if you ask me, if Trayvon Walker gets taken at 1, I'm not interested in Hutchinson because I want ceilings. I want Thibodeau. I want Malik Willis. And if that's who they value, I'm here for it. 100% I'm here for it. The thing, too, with the Malik Willis thing, and I'll humor you. I'll humor you guys. You've heard me say this 100 times. The discount to market with the contract intrigues me. It does. If you're going to take a swing, then take a swing with the biggest return. I'm a ceiling guy. That's where it is. That's why I'm Thibodeau over Hutchinson.
No, and
I've held firm with that. I've never changed. I never will change.
I will give Payback.com some props. Draft Aiden Hutchinson, nickname him Simba.
Yeah,
I like that one because no one here has ever been accused of being a Simba.
Right. Let me see. Robert Colosi, a good time to segue into Willis offensive coordinator situation at the Liberty Middle School flag football team. I did hear some people talking about that, about like offensive schemes that they were running and those kinds of things. Jack Harrington, Adam and Stick will do cocaine Thursday, Neil. I mean, I can't speak to them. They're grown men. They can do what they want. It'd be on brand. And I'll say it like that. It would definitely be
maybe not on budget.
Brand. Machiavelli sucks to go, so I can go to Vegas casino and bet on a draft pick? Yes, you can. Or in the state of Michigan, you go to MyBookie if you wanted to do it that way. Just saying you could. That's in play for you. But yeah, I mean, again, we will see how this all shakes out. But isn't that kind of a bomb from The Athletic, that Trayvon Walker, the betting favorite? Now, minus 175, Sam Flannel, not like it's even money or anything like that. People are laying some lumber on him to be the first pick.
That, to me, is just crazy because I still think Jacksonville should go with an offensive lineman to protect Trevor Lawrence. But with Trayvon Walker, he's got the size, he's got the measurables that got you drilling.
All the measurables, but, like, production.
No, very little production. I don't want to say no production.
Am I the only one that, like, this is a concern?
Of course it's a concern. He's the guy that could end up being Vernon Golston or somebody like that who is just a dumpster fire in the NFL. I mean, he might be... He could be, like... He could hit, but with him, I think he's the most likely to bust of all the edge rushers.
Yeah, and it's funny, too, because, D-Mac, we lined this up, right, like this big fancy topic, and it's Trayvon Walker, the pick for the Lions. Can he make an impact? And then minutes before you get to it, the Athletic thing pops where he's the betting favorite now to be the number one overall pick. And everybody just pumps their fist in the air because it's Aiden Hutchinson. And I guess my question would be, and I'll ask you this, D-Mac, and Sam Flannel certainly too, being a Michigan slap. If Aiden Hutchinson played at UCLA, would we care here?
Yeah, I guess if he's the top, if you take off Michigan and whatever, would you care as much? Probably not. Not if he's not the ceiling guy, right? I think there'd be more hype on Kayvon Thibodeau, right? But the fact that I think that, I hate to use safe pick, right? But that's sort of the thing that the system wise and yeah, Neil, the fact that he played for Michigan, but I think that he'd still be scouted high, so I don't think that there'd be a little bit extra hype on it. But again, the fact that he did play in the backyard, you sort of know what you're gonna get, and what people are sold on is the work ethic and the engine and stuff like that. What they're not sold on is the fact that, he doesn't have this ceiling as some of the other guys. But in all factuality, nobody knows. My ceiling probably wasn't as big as people saw it was, and yet I'm sitting here with 4 cups. I'm just saying. Right? I mean, I'm not a first-round pick or first overall, and this is where it's more serious, but those are guys that, if you can get, here's the thing. If whoever you get at number 2 is an overachiever, you've done your job. That's it, to what you expected. So who's the one that you're going to get out, and it goes down to the game plan, right? Who's going to overachieve the best or hit their ceiling or supersede their ceiling? Joseph Austin says, what about Willis's production? I mean, dude ran for almost 1,000 yards each of the last 2 years through almost 30 touchdowns. Those are numbers. And I wouldn't even go that route because some people will come back and say, well, that's unequal. Like, you're programmed to go down your little checklist of things. And again, a lot of it's economic with me, which is why I'm vehemently opposed to Kyle Hamilton being picked at number 2. And you guys can laugh at that and say, the football player. This league, more than ever, and it will only continue to get more, is financially based. For the good teams anyway. It's draft capital. It's good contracts, because that's how you win. The Lions will win because Amon-Ra St. Brown will make less during his entire Lions rookie contract than who? Kenny Golladay will make in September next year.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. That's how you win. That's how it's done. I got no other secrets for you guys. But Sam Flannel, real quick before we go to the break. If Hutchinson were at UCLA, would you care?
Not as much.
Okay. That's all I was looking for.
Yep.
You're fair. You're honest about it.
We saw what he did against Michigan, against Iowa in the Big Ten Championship, Penn State. He showed up in all of their biggest games except Georgia. But still, we saw it. We saw him dominate Ohio State. He was a man against Ohio State.
He was.
And he had a great season. But if he was at UCLA, he might get the Kayvon Thibodeau at Oregon treatment as like, oh, we never see him.
So, yeah, there you have it. But, hey, I know what we do see. The NBA playoffs are going on right now. NHL playoffs will start eventually. God, this season's going on forever this year. Baseball is here. No better place to bet on your favorite teams or your favorite players in the NFL draft. At mybookie.com. When you sign up for a new account, use the promo code Woodward. They will match up to 50% of your first deposit. MyBookie.com. Use the promo code Woodward. They will match up to 50% of your first deposit. Have a gambling problem? Get it together, people. Call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Coming on the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer here in the house as well. Just kind of cleaning up this NFL draft discussion if you're just jumping in. The Athletic sent out an alert that Trayvon Walker is now the minus 175 favorite to be the number one overall pick. And it divulges into the whole Hutchinson discussion as it usually does around these parts. Brian Edwards, Michigan fan, watch all of Hutch's film. We know how good he is. Exclamation point. He gets to the QB, and guess what the Lions need? He was the best all year except for one game. Well, the chances are he's going to be seeing many more of those Georgia players at the next level than he's going to be seeing of the other teams that they played. That's just the facts. You know, so you have to take that into account. I'm not saying he's terrible because of it. I'm saying you do have to take it into account. Here's another one you got to take into account. YT Sparty. Hutch had a jobbo. You can't undervalue that. These things are all facts. Machiavelli sucks to go. Why the NHL playoffs so late? Well, remember, they had the break set up for the Olympics, and then they had the games they missed because of COVID, and it just stretched on and on forever. It just feels like it's never going to get here.
He's a schmozzle.
Schmozzle. D-Mac's favorite word. No question about that. But, you know, we're talking about it all, and Thursday, brass rail. Get in, everybody. It's going to be epic. What if they draft Malik Willis?
I'll be so happy.
Then they believe in him. Then you best be getting on board.
It. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Then
a team's going to take him in the Big Ten.
Highly of him, and then you better.
A team's going to take him in the top 10. Somebody will.
Yeah, and then there's going to be a run on quarterbacks and stuff like this. So if you're part of the run on quarterbacks, whether it's you take Willis at 2 or you take somebody 4 or 5 because you like them at 32 or whatever like that, that's the hand that Brad Holmes is going to tell you that he's playing when it's played. So you better figure out that there's something more to this Malik Willis of moving forward, and they look at him as the future.
Right. Here's another question, too, and this is something I've talked about. Tony D says, Neil, how come Jermaine Johnson isn't being talked about in the same breath as Hutch, Walker, and Thibodeau? And there's a guy where I know what you're saying, and it is weird to me because he put up numbers last year at Florida State, and certainly, you know, he was a guy that he's moved around, and he did it at big levels too. certainly when he transferred and all that stuff. So that's a great question. I don't know. I know Dave Burkett was a guy that talked about him a lot.
Yeah, no, and so that don't tell me what, tell me who are talking about different guys and stuff like this, and who likes for different ways. So that's because you mentioned Dave Burkett's name, where I would stop and go, oh wait, what was said? That's certain things,
right?
I don't do that on a lot of other guys, Mel Kiper, whatever like this. It's all more for clicks. Burkett's not about clicks. He's about, hey, this is what I've heard. He's one of the best in the business.
Doughboy Steve, blah, blah, blah. Malik Willis, blah, blah, blah. He's going to go in the top 10, guys. He is. Like, that's just the reality.
And once he goes, there's a run.
Yeah.
There's a run.
So, yeah, we will see. Motown Cool. Hutch will have an NFL edge on the opposite side as well, yes, but he'll also be going up against an NFL offensive tackle or offensive lineman. So, there is that to be said, too. Everything has an opposite argument to it. Jared Goff, speaking of Malik Willis, is he the guy to lead the Lions to success? I know Keyshawn Johnson had some things to say, and I didn't catch this, so I'm curious to see what he says. All right, so Keyshawn Johnson on Jared Goff said, surround him with great talent, give him an opportunity to succeed. We saw Matthew Stafford in Detroit. We saw him in Los Angeles. And look, you guys know where I stand on the whole Jared Goff thing. For me, the Malik Willis thing, again, is a lot to do with finances and things like that. The mix of talent or proposed talent with the financials to it, that makes it very attractive to me. Jared Goff, D-Mac, I mean, can he win? I suppose put great talent around anyone in the NFL, and you can win. It's just, where are we at with him?
Here's the thing that I'm not sold on yet or whatever, because I give credit to the second half of the year when Ben Johnson, who is now our offensive coordinator, was in the ear or helping Dan Campbell call plays when they took the responsibility away from Anthony Lynn. Right now, he's your offensive coordinator. Jared Goff looked better. There's something there. To the fact in a perfect world, yes, we've seen it. We've seen lesser quarterbacks than Jared Goff win Super Bowls, and stuff like this. Obviously, it's a team thing. The question with the quarterback or with Goff and with Will, when are the lines going to be here? When were they going to be able to put the pieces in place? In a few
that's
years,
my other thing.
And then is Jared Goff the right guy? See, I think he's a perfect buffer right now. Can you win with him with the? I'm not going to say absolutely not. You cannot, because but when the big game, when different things, he's got himself there. I mean, and it's with the team around him. So again, it's more to the team. He needs more of the team than the team does him. Does that make sense? He's more of a piece, but he can be efficient. I don't think he's the answer here, but it's also too, I can't shut the door on it yet, because he's going to get the opportunity, and because of the why that I put in place from last year to this year. Let's just see. There might be something. You don't know.
No, and that's where it is, too. And I wonder, too, with Jared, and he's fine. Like, he deals with the media in all the right ways. He answers all the questions. I think the guys in the locker room respect him. I think you have to respect him, where he does things the right way. And that's cool. That's fine. It's just, like, and there are some Malik Willis people in here. There seems to be more that are kind of anti-Malik Willis. But here's the other thing with it then. Who's the quarterback in 4 years then? That's my question. Who's the quarterback in 4 years?
Right.
Who?
He's probably, well, I would say if you draft Malik Willis or a quarterback, then you could look at him being there. But I don't think Jared Goff is. I don't think we know yet. That's the whole thing with the draft capital and the salary cap.
For all these people here that are like, Malik Willis is a project, Malik Willis is trash and stuff like that, then be prepared for Jared Goff to be your quarterback 5 years from now, 4 years from now.
Oh, that's scary.
Do you see though, when we start circling back, like, let's get out of La La Land for a minute here, okay? Let's look at the path. D-Mac's always big on that, right? Like, on the board. Look at the path.
Yeah.
What's the path?
The same people that say, oh, we'll get a quarterback next year are the ones that are saying, oh, Jared Goff's going to be great this year. So if Jared Goff's great this year and you win 8 games, you're not going to be in a position to draft a good quarterback next year. What are you doing? It's Jared Goff will never win a Super Bowl in Detroit. Jared Goff will never win a playoff game in Detroit. Jared Goff will never win a division in Detroit. He's not good enough. If he couldn't do it with Sean McVay as that offensive mind, with that Rams offense, with that Rams defense behind him, with Todd Gurley, he's not going to do it in Detroit. Like you said, you put a great team around any NFL quarterback, they're going to be good. You shouldn't need that to be a good player. You're not a good player if you need a great team around you to have success.
So, I mean, that's what it is. So what's the pathway? What's the quarterback looking like in 4 years? Now, I will say this. If I've had one knock, and there's only been one knock on the regime, it seems to be, and I know it was explained about, freeing up some cap space and things like that with the 1 year extension that they got Goff to. I liked it initially because we can say, all right, placehold for 2 years, peace out. You get the next quarterback, you get your quarterback of the future, whatever. That's the one knock I have, and I'm worried about this, D-Mac, is we're going to see the Goff can continue to be kicked down the road.
Yeah, but it's going to be kicked until you either draft a guy. Like, to me, it's either draft a quarterback this year as a future or next year or whatever. When this team is in place, you're going to go out and do what the Rams did and get yourself your Stafford and pay $40, $50 million.
Right.
It's a fork in the road. And you know what? I reserve my opinion till the clock runs out.
Till the clock, and we are all the way back to that. Patty Grimes says Willis has done what in the NFL? Okay, well let's go micro on it then. Okay, Patty. So will Jared Goff be 6 times, or will Jared Goff be a 5 times better quarterback than Malik Willis? Because that's what the numbers say. At $30 million a year versus 6, is he a 5-time better quarterback than Malik Willis? And I'm just going macro with you. I'm going by what you said.
But if you draft him, he's not drafted to play right away. He's drafted to sit, to learn, to whatever, develop in a year, 2 years, or whatever, and then
I can play that game too. I can say that too. Where I don't play games. Where I don't play games is at Planet Fitness. Ooh. Right now you can join. $0 down, $10 a month. Go get your Planet Fitness membership no matter where you are. There's a Planet Fitness close by. You're going to pass 3 of them on the way home today. Slide on in. Sign up. Black Card, $22.99 per month. Less than $1 per day. Get you access to over 2,000 Planet Fitnesses around the nation. Unlimited guest privileges as well. Join in club when you drive by or online at your computer now at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, D-Mac.
Where your fitness is essential.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Neil Rule here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you can join the Pepper Club at Chili Peppers Tanning. You'll get all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors' prices by at least $5. Chili Peppers Tanning has the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. They got 26 locations and more on the way. Go to chilipepperstanning.com. Find out which one works best for you. Chili Peppers Tanning. Coming down the stretch here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, D-Mac, Sam Flannel. We got Spencer here in the house as well. Chrome says, how come Willis didn't play for a big school? He was at Auburn. Transferred from Auburn. They wouldn't let him play in front of Bo Nix. I don't know. You figure it out. I'm not a huge Auburn guy. I don't know. One funky Lions fan. Funny how when Neil likes a guy at 2, he says he makes $6 million. When it's a guy he doesn't like at 2, they make 10. Well, it's funny about the contracts, one funky Lions fan. They start at around $6 million and they end up at 10. Any other questions? Anybody else? No? All right. We learn anything today, D-Mac?
You know what? We learned that we still don't know what the heck's going to be chosen second overall. We have our opinions. We have everything else like that. What we realize is that Miguel Cabrera is damn good. And you know what? It's one of these athletes of my generation that I've been able to eyeball test and watch and to see like 3,000 hits. It's the same thing as somebody else being able to watch Al Kaline do that. And, you know, I guess, you know, being 50th, in my 51st year, is the fact of being a little bit more retrospective and enjoying. I always preach Destinations Oasis, enjoying the journey. That was a big journey part over the weekend to be a part of that.
Yeah,
and
it makes me sad.
To me, he's the greatest, you know, Tiger. He's not Mr. Tiger, right? But he's the greatest Tiger.
Which are two different things.
Right.
Which are 100% two different things. It makes me sad because today my suspicions became true that I don't think we truly do realize how great he was. Is that fair, Sam? Did you get that feeling?
Yes, but to be fair, his decline was so rapid from 2016 to 2017.
But it was always going to end this way.
That's true, and people forget from 2018 to 2016. I mean, 2008 to 2016. My goodness, you could pencil in 35 home runs, over 100 RBIs, and 330 every year. 1,000,000%. Like, that's what it is. How about you, Spencer? You learn anything today?
I learned that Lions fans are delusional. I mean, I already knew it, but it's just, I don't know. I can't take it anymore. When I thought, like, the golf truthers, the golf lovers, I thought that was a joke. I really did. I couldn't see it, and now it's just everywhere, and people are backing this guy, and, oh, look at what Keyshawn said about him. Look at what this guy said about him. Look at what you saw on the field last year. And it's, I don't know. I'm over it. I just don't want Jared Goff to be the Lions quarterback. Next year, I'm fine. Next year, yeah, that's fine. He's going to be the quarterback. We're paying him. But after that, get him out of here.
Yeah. Chrome, I think, says it pretty well. I wouldn't care if they did draft Willis. If that's the direction they want to go. And again, I'm not pounding the table saying take Malik Willis. If that's the direction they want to go, I believe in it. And someone here earlier said, Huron, Mark, admit it, you hate the Lions, Neil. Where does that come from, dude? Because I'm the one telling you that Brad Holmes is going to win a playoff game here during his regime. He's going to, because he values contracts and cap space and draft picks, which is why Steve Yzerman is going to win, which is why the Pistons are going to win, because of what they value. Their valuation system is more in line with where sports are these days. You win with rookie contracts. That's it. That's all. That's it. You win with rookie contracts. That's how you win, because that's when you can step in and get the pieces to get you over the top. That's the way that it works, man. I got no other magic formulas for you, man. And it was going to take a minute to flush the books. There were 2 jobs you had to do here in Detroit. Number 1, rebuild the talent. Number 2, rebuild the books. Same thing Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman had more. I think Steve Yzerman even more work to do on the books.
But again, because the numbers aren't as big or as apparent because of the guaranteed contracts and stuff like that, it's a lot in the hockey world. You got to sort of dig deep and sort of tell people, because you really don't notice it. The same way as when he makes trades and he uses the salary cap against other teams and picks up draft choices, right? We look at the draft capital right now and go, oh, we got 2 first rounders, 3 second, 4 thirds. Wait, where did that extra second and third come? Oh, Steve, when he traded Letty and did this. And you know what I'm saying? So there's always these intricacies that we don't see more so in the hockey world that we do see in every other world. contract-wise. But again, Neil, all I know at the end of this show on a Monday, preparing for Thursday, I have no idea who's taking anything. And you know what? The panic team right now, at the end of the day, is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And
all
they got
right,
the
everybody.
first pick.
Let's do it tonight. We'll monitor the news. When the betting favorite changes tomorrow, you'll have it first right here on Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. So for D-Mac, for Sam Flannel, for Spencer Raxter, my name's Neil Rule. Appreciate you tapping in. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Well, see you later.